today I'm going to be running through 4 different spots to go shore diving on the Gold Coast. Hey guys, welcome back to another video, or welcome to the channel if you're new. I've had a few people message me about where they can sort of go shore diving on the coast, so I thought I'd put together a quick little video and just run through a couple different spots. So the first spot is the Seaway Spit. I'm going to get a map up on my phone and run through it on there. It's probably the easiest to sort of explain. I'll also leave all the sort of location points down in the description below, so feel free to have a look there after the video to sort of find where these spots exactly are. This is the Spit. Best place to park is here. What you're going to do is get kitted up and then walk along this footpath, and you can get in the water either by just launching from the sand, or if there's not much swell, what you can do is keep walking along the path and then jump off the rocks. That'll sort of save you a bit of time swimming out, but I usually just swim out through the beach. So once you get out past the break, you're going to want to swim along this rock wall here and try and find some fish, and ideally get right to the end of the rock wall. That's going to be your best bet for finding fish. Just keep in mind that anything on the inside of this rock wall is all green zone, so you're not allowed to spear in there. So probably, yeah, swim, sort of halfway across. Just don't go on the inside of the rock wall. It's best to dive the Spit on high tide, so probably get in the water half an hour to an hour before high tide, and that'll be your best bet for nice clean water. Ideally, you don't want too much wind and small swell. So if you don't have any luck spearfishing at the Spit, you can always go freediving on the inside. The freediving is amazing. There's a huge biomass of fish in there. Heaps of people scuba dive in there too, so the fish are quite friendly and you can get quite close to them too. If you're going to go freediving, I would recommend going down the steps here and just sort of swimming up and down the rock wall. Just be careful of boats in this area. There's heaps of boats, and they go quite quick around there, so just keep that in mind. Ideally, bring a dive float with you with a flag, just to be safe. Alright, the next spot is Narrowneck Artificial Reef. Now this reef is pretty cool. It's made up of like large sandbags that are about 150 to 200 meters offshore. It's a pretty cool dive. This artificial reef holds heaps of bait, and you can see some pretty cool sea life here. I've seen heaps of sort of stingrays, eagle rays and things like that, so I'll get it up on the map and walk you guys through this spot. So that's the reef there. Best place to park is usually along the road there. There's heaps of parking there, so that's always good. And I'll zoom in. You can see that there, that's a lifeguard tower. So it's good to use that as a point of reference for when you're swimming out to the reef, because it is about a 150 to 250 meter swim. So what I usually do is walk down here, get kitted up, and then just go to the north of the lifeguard tower a bit and sort of swim out from there, and you should hit the reef. Once you get to the reef, just have a good swim around. It's pretty shallow here. It's anywhere from sort of 4 to 8 meters deep. So yeah, swim around and hopefully you get something. I've actually shot a really big Spanish mackerel here. It's around 9 kilos from memory. So you can shoot big fish here, but it's sort of hit and miss like all these spots. Best time to hit Narrowneck reefs, similar to the Spit, you want to go just before high tide with not much wind and not much swell. Alright, the third spot I'm going to be discussing is Burleigh Headland. So best place to park at Burleigh Headland is this car park there, and there's a bit of a trail that runs down here. Sorry, it's a bit blurry, but when you get there, there's a little footpath that sort of goes there down to the water. That's the best place to sort of launch, and once you're in the water, I tend to go right and just follow the rocks around here. And yeah, it's quite a nice dive. Heaps of like boulders and things like that. So, and when you follow the rock wall around, just be careful, because this is Tallabudger Creek here. and you can't spear in there, so I recommend stopping probably around here and then heading back. So yeah, like the other two spots, Burleigh Headlands, you're going to want to dive it on that high tide. That's when the water will be the cleanest, and ideally you want to sort of southerly winds, so the headland is protecting that sort of area where you dive, and small swell. All these spots sort of need small swell to be clean, because otherwise they get quite stirred up. The fourth spot I'm going to be discussing is Palm Beach Artificial Reef. This reef was created in 2019, and it's just heaps of boulders about 250 to 300 meters offshore. So it's a cool dive. It's still, I guess, a young reef in terms of the sort of growth that's there, but it's pretty cool to see in 2 to 3 years how much, I guess, nature takes over. Heaps of weed and stuff growing there already, so that's cool to see. Palm Beach Artificial Reef's not actually on Google Maps yet, but I'll just get a drone photo up and show you guys from there. So the best place to usually park is either 19th Ave, 21st Ave, or 17th Ave, which I believe is about there. And you're just going to want to head there and swim out to the reef. There's quite a large building here just on 19th Ave, so that's a good landmark. If you haven't hit the reef yet, you can sort of look back and make sure you're in line with that building, and you should hit the reef. There's also two buoys, large yellow buoys. One's there and the other one's there, you can just see them. As long as you're sort of in the middle of them, you should hit the reef, no problem. Now, just as a bit of a tip, if the current is coming from this direction, best to swim on this edge of the reef. That's where you might find the best sort of fish. The current goes off from the sand and hits this part of the reef, and a lot of bait and things like that will sort of be there feeding from all the stuff of the sand, and then wherever there's bait, there's usually predatory fish as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed that quick little video of those spots. Let me know if you catch anything there. I'd be really interested to know. It's always a good idea to bring a float and a flag to these spots, because there is a lot of boats that frequent these areas, and boats I find are way more dangerous than sharks. Just make sure you're visible and always dive with someone at these spots too. And if you do dive one of these spots, don't get disheartened if you don't see a fish the first time you go there, or spear a trophy fish the first time. Spearfishing does take quite a bit of luck and a lot of time in the water to sort of learn how fish move and where they'll be. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.